With AMD firing a buy on Friday, as promised, I wanted to take traders through what I typically look at before entering a position. Let's go. The first thing I look at is, what are the Qs doing? So first of all, we see here that we see the formation of a cup. We haven't seen the construction of a handle yet. We have the classic W at the bottom of the cup, and normally you're going to see a W formation on that handle. So right now it looks like we'd either pull back into this area on a little bit deeper retrace to form that handle before going higher, or we could go up directly, come up into this resistance area, and then form another handle here. So we'll move on to earnings. I'll look at earnings, make sure that there's no chip earnings here. AMD has already passed. It was back several weeks ago. It was a double beat, and actually the stock dropped based on the double beat, which was kind of interesting. I'll also real quickly look at the economic calendar, and I'm looking at items that occur before like 10 a.m. typically. So you'll see here that, there's really not a lot on this calendar that feels like it would have the potential of moving markets this week. We do have CPI the following week. So it's something to just keep in the back of our minds. Next, I'll look at the larger trend on yields, and we see here that we have a formation of a cup with that classic W at the bottom. And at this point, we've kind of come up into an area of resistance. Are the yields going to form a handle and then try to break resistance or balance and fail? Are they going to make one more press to try to break resistance? Or are they going to maybe more likely start to soften, come off a bit, and form that handle, which would be good for tech? So now that I'm done looking at those basics, now the next thing I look at is the weekly chart for AMD. And the first thing I'm going to do is try to construct a retrace. Use your fib retrace tool, and you can see here that we kind of dipped into the golden pocket area, which is between the 618 and the 786 fib here on AMD weekly. And so this looks like a giant bull flag that's been kind of playing out with a nice reversal candle structure here, but we've come up into an area of resistance, and we'll poke into this area a little bit harder into the daily. But it looks like, this area of 109.50 looks like a strong area of support. Let's double check the daily to see what it looks like if it's resistance as well. So now looking at the daily, we can see here that there's a lot of bounces as support here, and that we also see an area of resistance as well. So right now, this 109.50, we're gonna have to chalk that up as a strong area of support and resistance. Next, I check the subscribe button to make sure it's clicked. This way I can see other entries and updates on this one as well. So moving on to hourly, the next thing I want to check are the backtest results. When checking the backtest results, this assumes that every time there was a signal to buy, I entered a $10,000 trade over the last 5 years, and you can see that that net profit was $30,000. The percent profitable looks good at 63%. Generally, the profit factor you want to see is somewhere between 1.5 and 2, so 1.72 feels okay. The max drawdown isn't that much. It's only like $6,000. So overall, this strategy looks like it's winning. And where we see here where we encountered a lot of drawdown, this is an area with increasing yields that I wasn't doing a lot of swing trading with growth stocks because it just didn't make sense as yields were on the rise. But now when we looked at that yields earlier, we actually see where we may have the formation of a handle on the yields. So they may be likely to drop again. And it does make sense because last week we had a lot of bullish news come out of the different market reports. So a lot of stuff was checked off as bullish, if you will, versus in the bearish camp. So now let's look deeper at the hourly. So the first thing I look at is when this fired, we were in the midst of forming the pull because I want to see kind of how much it's already run. In this particular case, AMD is trading with a 5% take profit and a 2.5% stop loss based off the back test we just looked at. So I could have bought on the initial surge. If we look at from the bottom of the pole to the wick, we've already moved close to 5%. So we've already kind of had an expected move for AMD. So does that mean we just don't get into the trade? No. So first thing I want to key on is this wick. So this wick happened at 109.50, which we already determined is a pretty strong resistance area. It would be hard to believe that we just blow through this like nobody's business. The next thing I want to do is build for a confluence of indicators. So let's just build some channel supports here. So if we build this, and we're going to go ahead and duplicate that. Okay. So we see that we've constructed this channel that we're in. And we also see an inverse head and shoulders here at the bottom. and we know that we have a strong neckline resistance here. Typically before moving higher, you're going to either see an inverse head and shoulders as we see with AMD, or if we look at something like Meta here, we're seeing the formation of this double bottom W look where we have a neckline once again and a break above a neckline maybe ready to occur. So getting back to AMD, we see that we're in this channel area and we're close to the top of the buy channel. So it would be kind of normal to see this come back towards the bottom of this buy channel because we are at strong resistance, maybe to the bottom of this channel area, spike it into support. 107 area is looking like good support if we look at it. It has a lot of touches in this area that show that it is also strong support as well. So based on everything that we're looking at with the confluence of indicators so far, this is either telling me that I want to do a stop order buy essentially above this wick area at 110.50 if we start to break and hold above that, because we could be in a 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, 5, or we could be building this handle, putting in a classic W to then break the neckline. So, from my standpoint, I want to either buy at 107 area here or on the breakout of this wick. Hope traders get an appreciation for why it takes a little time to evaluate these buy signals. Again, if you want to see what I'm doing with my trades in real time, then for $5 a month, you can get all the algorithms, real-time notifications, and my feedback from the Discord as well. That's all I have for now. Until our next video, and we'll see you then.